Look, man, I promise it was a butt drag. There was nothing else there. All I was trying to do was score.
Dude, you grabbed his balls.
I did not grab his balls.
Guys, today's video is brought to you by Fiverr. Fiverr is an online marketplace that connects freelancers of every industry to buyers. Whether you need a graphic designer to make a company logo, or you just need a video editing service that's going to be quick and reliable, Fiverr is full of the best freelancers in the world to help you get exactly what you need. And for my viewers only, follow the link in the description below and get 10% off today.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. You got a little bit more scruff than I remember.
Yeah. I kind of... Last time I saw you, I couldn't really grow any, so now I'm just kind of...
What's up? Oh, shoot. Is the connection bad? Crap. Let me call you right back. Technical difficulties. Bro, where are you at?
I'm in...
You still in Russia? Jeez.
The stairs.
Okay. Is a better connection there?
Yeah, because I don't know if the connection was bad in my room, so I wanted to make sure that I had some solid connection.
I think it's better now. So, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Killing, man. It's not bad. Just got back from Bulgaria last week. Wrestled at a world ranking tournament called, I think, the Dankalov.
I saw it. Took the bronze.
So that was cool.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, man. So just got to keep working, you know. Mission, the goal's not over yet, you know. Still got a lot of work to do, so just making sure I'm realizing that and just stay consistent with what I've been doing. So, but it's not bad, man. Just a lot of traveling for training and competition, and then my last semester of grad school, so I can't wait for that to be over.
Stoked about that.
Yeah. So,
yeah, man.
Because that has me... Woo! So I'm so ready for school to be over with.
Just one less stressor on your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so crazy. You don't realize it. Like I didn't realize it in high school, but like how much like of a stressor school is just in general. You know,
no, seriously.
And wrestling. I mean, wrestling takes away from that, and school takes away from wrestling. It's tough.
It is, man. And on top of that, like you know, when you want to accomplish something, you want to be able to dedicate all of your time and energy to it, and you know now you got to split between school and wrestling, and so it's back and forth. So I'm ready for May to get here, so that way I can just solely focus on wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
How about you, man? How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. You know the guys are at Pac-12. Desi's wrestling, so that came as a shock. I mean, I don't think the coaches or anybody was shocked, but I was shocked when he came back this last term. But, you know, it is what it is. And I think I'll be the best my senior year because he's in the room working with me. So
yeah,
I'd rather give up 2 decent years for 1 really great year if that's the option. So
absolutely.
So I think my senior year is going to be the best because he's in the room, not because he's not because I got to wrestle. You know what I mean? My junior year.
Yeah. You always like approach things like with a great mentality, man. So I'm excited for you, man.
I appreciate that. It's also been a few months since it happened, so it's like you know you hear the news and you're like you know because you know I wasn't eligible first term, so
yeah,
didn't get to wrestle too much, but it is what it is. It happens, man. But what about you with wrestling? Is 2020 is that the end date?
2020 is the goal, my man. So I'm trying to win. The goal is an Olympic gold medal. And honestly, a world title this year is also a goal. So just trying to make sure that I'm improving as much as I can and growing as much as I can by the time U.S. Open comes around, World Team Trials, Final X, so I can make the team. Because, I mean, it's a tough competition. Got to return a world champion in my weight class.
Yep.
You know, so I got to make sure that I'm firing on all cylinders and I'm wrestling really, really sharp. You know, minimizing the amount of errors I make and, just taking it one step at a time. But the goal is to wrestle World Championships and win that, and then just kind of get prepared for the Olympics next year and then figure out what weight I want to go, man. So many people have been asking me, you're going to go up, you're going to go down, and I have no idea. Because, you already know 92 kilos isn't an Olympic weight.
Yeah.
So, I got to figure out if I want to go down or go up. And it doesn't matter where I go, man. I'm going to have world champ or...
Killers, man. You got world champs that couldn't make the Olympic team.
Yeah, some killers, man. So...
But, no, man, I believe in you. So, quick question, little teaser question.
All right, fire away.
Is Cox at your weight, or are you at Cox's weight? How do you answer that question? He's the returning world champ, but how do you think about it? Do you say I'm at Cox's weight, or he's at my weight?
That's interesting. Huh. That's a good question. Yeah, you put me in a tough spot just now. I'm just let you know that.
Hey, he might be watching too.
I'm actually buddies with him, so if he sees this, I'm be like,
No, if Jaden sees this, man, that's tough, man. It's Mike Machiavello's weight class. I'm a Missouri boy too, and I'm rooting. Nah, I'm just.
Yeah, no, I think
Jaden, don't beat me up.
I think if you really are trying to win a world title, I think it doesn't matter who you are. That's the type of mentality you have to take.
Everybody's in your weight class.
Yeah, everybody's in my weight class. I think that's the mentality you have to take. And I think, too, individuals like Jaden or Kyle or David or Dake or Jordan, they all understand that. And they respect that because that's how they think.
Yeah.
That's how they process. That's how they approach things mentally, And I think, but to be honest, I try my best to be neutral. It's not anybody's weight, man. It's whoever earns it that given day, Because to be honest, no one's invincible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're all human, and, it's not like we're all exempt from losing. There's not one person who will never, ever lose in their entire career. Everybody has lost at least once in their wrestling career. Like Cael Sanderson lost at the senior level to Yoel Romero from Cuba. Kyle Dake lost. Jordan Burroughs.
Cael Sanderson lost to Les Gutches, the Oregon State boy.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot about that. And then on top of that, Kyle Snyder's lost. Jaden Cox has lost. Jordan Burroughs has lost. Alex Derringer has lost. David Taylor has lost. The best guys in the world. Sajalayev has lost. It doesn't matter who you are. The best guys in the world have taken a loss. But it's like, okay, how well can you bounce back, and how much can you learn from those experiences? And I think the best guys in the world are able to take those losses and make the most out of them. You know what I mean? And I think, too, the best guys also have, this crazy amount of confidence, but also this really, really strong sense of humility. You know what I mean? Because what I'm learning right now with where I'm at is you can think you're the best guy in the world, but sometimes that can be a pitfall. That can be a downfall, because then you start to think you don't have to work as hard. And then you start to think that, okay, this is going to be handed to me because you're so confident and you don't have to earn it. But the reality is, the best guys in the world are the best guys in the world for a reason. And that reason is because they understand, okay, what I did yesterday doesn't matter. It's what I do today and what I do moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they approach every single day with an understanding that, okay, I'm not perfect. I have to constantly be learning, constantly be evolving, constantly be changing, you know what I mean? Because there's other guys who are working just as hard coming after me. You know what I mean? And so, if you go in it with a mentality oh, no one's going to touch me, that might hurt you. And so having this, strong sense of humility with this, really, really strong sense of confidence, it's this, strange balance of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out, being extremely, extremely confident in my wrestling ability, but also have a strong sense of humility to where, I'm pushing myself to work hard, and I have a chip on my shoulder the entire, every single step of the way.
Absolutely. It's kind of weird, just circling back to that question, it's kind of weird because you said, everybody has that mentality and they respect it, but it's almost like you're mad at the other guy for having that mentality, and he's mad at you. You know what? It's like a lose-lose. No one's, like Cox probably doesn't like the fact that you're saying it's his weight or your weight class, but he's saying it's his weight class, and if he was in, your spot and you and his, you'd both be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like a catch-22. It's like you want to have that mentality, but you don't want your competitors to have it.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, for me, like, there's also a sense of respect there because, like, you know, I respect you for having that mentality because you're trying to get after it. You know, you're going to do whatever it takes. And, like, you know, like, as a competitor, you want those guys to have that because you want to beat people at their best.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave any room for, like, doubt in any conversation, you know. And plus, like, as a competitor, you want challenges. You want to be challenged. You want to be pushed. You know what I mean? And I want to wrestle against the best competition whenever the best competition is wrestling at their best. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know, respect to people who keep that mentality. You know, I like that because I understand what it takes, at least as far as, like, what it takes to win an NCAA title. And, you know, what I personally believe is, like, you have to have that mentality. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's cool, man.
Let's U23s. Let's talk about this. I haven't heard any candidate. Who's to blame for that, man? Are you gonna?
Somebody on USA Wrestling staff who let me somehow register and wrestle the U23 World Team Trial Tournament.
Well, I just like, can I go sign up for juniors or cadets now? Like, because you can't do that. You can't sign up for a tournament. You're too old to do.
If the same person who messed me up is running that registration, then I'm sure you can make it.
All right.
But, you know, like, I don't know, man. I really think it either was like a flaw in the system online or somebody just kind of made a mistake when it came to registration because, you know, I got to wrestle in the tournament and I won. And so in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm good to go. I'm in the U23 World Team. I'm going to wrestle in the U23 World Tournament. And, you know, fast forward 2 months later, I'm at U.S. National Team Camp with the senior level team and the U23 team, and I'm eating lunch with Coach Zadek, who's like the head USA Wrestling coach, and we're just talking about all types of stuff, not even wrestling related, just life or like, you know, whatever, like hot topics that are kind of going on today, like, and you know, we're walking back from lunch back to the barracks, and he's like, "Hey, Mark," I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Coach?" He goes, "How old are you, man?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm 23." He goes, "When's your birthday?" I said, "Oh, Christmas Eve, 1984. He goes, "Oh, nice." And then there's a slight pause, and I turn around and I keep walking. He goes, "Mark." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You might be too old to wrestle U23s." I was like, "You've got to be kidding me."
Oh.
And he's like, you know, come to my office and we'll check it out. And then we look at the UWW site, and it's not by actual age. What it is, it's by cutoff year. It's by birth year. So I was born Christmas Eve, 1994.
You were 23 during the tournament, a month after the tournament.
And a month after, yeah. 23 during the tournament and a month after. So technically, I'm old enough. I mean, I'm young enough to wrestle a tournament, but it's not by actual age. It's by year. And so because I was born in 94 and not 95, I was disqualified from being able to wrestle in the tournament. And it was, you know, everybody who's eligible to wrestle the U23 tournament had to be born in the year 1995 or later, and I missed it by 7 days.
Who wrestled for you at that weight class?
I think the 197 pounder from Purdue.
Okay.
I think.
Did he graduate?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's wrestling right now. I mean, he might have another year, 2 years of eligibility. I can't remember. I think his name's Christian Brunner.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he won his first match, and I think he lost his next one. And then I don't know if the guy that beat him made it to the final, so I think he kind of got kicked out after that.
Okay.
Then he got pulled back into repechage. So.
But that kind of segued. Was that what segued you into wrestling with Snyder and being his partner?
Yeah, man. So it was actually kind of crazy. So
talk about that.
Obviously, I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
And this was like, for me, it wasn't coincidental at all. I'm like, man, first of all, you know, if you don't know me or what I'm about, you know, faith is a really, really big part of who I am in my life, you know what I mean? And so, like, for me, I'm just like, man, it's crazy how, you know, certain things don't work out in your life. And then later on, you look back and you see, like, why. You know, there was a reason, and then there was something better that the man upstairs had it in mind than you had for yourself. And you may not see it at the moment, but when you fast forward through life and you look back at the bigger picture, you kind of can see, like, what was going on. And when I kind of look back at, you know, the past 9 months, you know, I made the U23 World Team Trials. And even though I get to wrestle the tournament, if that person never would have messed up the registration and allowed me to wrestle the tournament, or if the system didn't have an error in it and never allowed me to wrestle the tournament, I would have never made the U23 World Team. And if I would have never made the U23 World Team, I would have never gotten invited to the U.S. National Team camp in San Diego at Camp Pendleton. And if I would have never gotten invited to that camp, I would have never gotten to work out with Snyder. And it was when I was at National Team camp in San Diego where I got to work out with him a couple times, do some live simulation matches. And, I gave him a good enough feel and pushed him enough to where he felt comfortable enough coming out to Raleigh for a couple of days, and we worked out again. And then after that, he had texted me right before he left, "Hey, man, would you be interested in being my training partner for World Championships this year?" And that's kind of how everything transpired. But when I look back at everything, I was like, man, if they would have caught it from the beginning, none of that would have happened, and I would have never gotten that opportunity. And when I look at everything, man, it's like the experience that I got from training with the senior-level guys for 4 weeks and working out with Snyder, getting to go to the acclimation camp in Germany, and getting to be a part of the World Championships and watching in person was so invaluable for me because I got to experience firsthand. I got to see how everything operated, weigh-ins, warm-ups, the way the tournament was ran, how the World Team guys prepare, how they get ready to compete at the World Championships. And so, man, I got so much out of that experience because if I wasn't working out with Kyle, I was working out with somebody else, trying to pick their brain. I was asking Kevin Jackson for notes, Bill Zadek for notes, Tervel, Casey Cunningham, Kyle Dake. I was asking everybody. And I have, so many different notepads on my phone from that week, from those 2 weeks, because I was just writing down as much as I can, trying to soak it all up like a sponge.
Yeah. Is there any of those guys, you got to see all of them, and I'm guessing it's Snyder, but if it's not, correct me, but is there any of those guys that, your style really gravitated to their style and how they worked, you just really looked up to them and you're like, I gotta, whatever this guy's saying or doing, I gotta be in the room listening and emulating as much as I can? Was there anybody that stood out to you more than...
He wrestles hard. He wrestles a really, really hard pace the entire match, and he wears guys down. And he's a strong individual. And, I kind of wrestle like that too, with a really, really hard pace, and I try and wear guys down. But, for me, I was just, I wasn't really thinking about that a whole lot. I was just trying to, understand the sport from as many different angles as I could, because Kyle thinks about the sport differently than Dake does. And Jaden thinks about the sport differently than Snyder does too. And JB and James Green think about the sport differently than Gilman does. You know what I mean? And so trying to understand, okay, how do you approach the sport, and why does this work for you? And I mean, it was a really good experience. But if I had to pick one person, it would probably be Kyle, just because he really wears guys down, and that's kind of how my style is too.
So how long do those guys go? I mean, a day? What? I mean, all they got to do now, it seems, is wrestle. But how long? Yeah. What does a typical day look like in the Olympic room?
So here's the thing, man. It was different for everybody.
Yeah.
It was really, really different. Some guys would take a day off, focus specifically on recovery, like Dake. Guys would be really, really light at practice sometimes, like David. Some guys would go hard. Even Snyder some days took it light. And most of it was just it was really, really short practices that were really, really focused.
Just kind of what they need that day.
Yep.
Feeling
and how your body's feeling, and kind of just listening to that, and making sure that you're feeling good and that you're pushing yourself enough to where you feel well prepared leading up to World Championships. Because at that point, most of the body work's been done before that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's okay, making sure you don't get injured in practice so that you're healthy for the tournament, making sure you're feeling good, so you're obviously trying to get a good blowing. We did matches and stuff like that too to, simulate, the different rounds and stuff like that, which was good. But outside of that, it kind of was really, really different for everybody. I saw Dake, I think, take a complete day off and just only focus on, stretching and rolling out and stuff like that. Some days we came in on our own, played spike ball for like 30 minutes, maybe played some knockout, and then we just sparred and went over a couple of things for 30 minutes, and that was it. Some guys lifted, some guys didn't. Snyder, for example, he lifted 3 times a week.
The bigger guys lift a little bit more than the smaller guys?
Yeah, I think so. And so, I mean, it really kind of varies. Dake, for example, didn't lift at all.
That's what I've heard, man. That's true? He doesn't lift at all?
Yeah, it's true, man. He doesn't lift at all. He only does his, like
calisthenics, explosive stuff?
Yeah, he does explosive stuff. There's just stuff that he's doing now. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, if you think of it, it's cool. How's the Adidas stuff going? Just with
not bad.
With them?
Not bad. You know, like a small contract, like just a really, really small contract, just kind of starts you out. And, you know, I get free gear as needed. If I need a pair of shoes, I'll shoot them a text and they send some stuff my way. And, you know, it's not bad, but it's nice, you know, but I really don't think about it a whole lot.
Well, so when it first, tell the story you told Chael and I when it first happened. What was going through your head? Because you saw, what was the deal? You saw Casper had a deal or something.
Yeah.
Tell that. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think so. You refresh my memory a little bit?
It's funny because some of the best advice I ever got was right after you said this, when Chael said, you know, if you want something, you got to ask for your opportunity.
Yeah, man.
And you had just seen a few guys get signed with Adidas, and you just texted somebody, and you're like, hey, what does it take to get signed with Adidas? You know,
gotcha. Okay, so I remember what you're talking about. Okay. So I had seen Casper sign with Adidas, and Bryce had signed with Adidas, and I was really curious as to, like, man, I would love to get a sponsorship and be endorsed by a company like Adidas. One, I love Combat Speeds, my favorite wrestling shoe.
Okay.
Most comfortable wrestling shoe. I've been wearing Combat Speed since high school.
Yeah.
It's the shoe I'm most familiar with, the shoe I'm most comfortable with wearing. And really, at the end of the day, what you wear on your feet doesn't really dictate your ability to wrestle. But, like, I just like to feel them.
Well,
right?
Some people's opinions are different and wrong. So.
Yeah. And so, dude, I just kind of, Scully, who is the guy who is head of Adidas Wrestling, had come to NC State to just kind of visit a little bit. And visit Bob Guzzo because he had coached with Guzzo back in the day. And I met him. He introduced himself to me, and I shook his hand. And before this, I'd asked Casper, okay, what did you kind of do to get the sponsorship? And he had kind of reached out to them because he got reached out by Nike, and then he reached out to Adidas on his own and asked them, hey, this is what Nike's offering me. Would you be willing to offer me a contract as well? So that way I can make a decision on who I want to go with. And honestly, Adidas was able to give him a better deal than Nike, which is why he ultimately signed with Adidas. And with that being said, and I was like, okay, well, you know, maybe I got to take action myself and reach out to them on my own. And I kind of introduced myself to him. After he'd introduced myself to him, I walked into the wrestling room. And I was kind of nervous to ask him. I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. You know,
so those weird situations, like, oh.
Yeah, those really awkward situations where you're just like, hey, man, can you sign me? And so I walk into the room, in the wrestling room, and I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But at least I asked and I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, whatever. If it doesn't work, that's fine. But I'm going to ask just to see how it goes. So I turn around and I go right back out to him. I was like, hey, man, so, you know, I was wondering, you know, what do you guys look for whenever you sign an athlete to Adidas? And what are the type of things that, you know, I need to do in order to kind of get there, and what are the things that you look at the most? And he just like, give me your email, man. We'd love to have you. I was like, are you serious? Is that easy? He goes, yeah, man, shoot me an email, and I'll go ahead and set everything up for you. Go ahead and send you some stuff. I was like, all right. So I did that, and that's kind of how I got signed.
It's probably that easy when an NCAA champ asks them.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was really, really cool. So, contract ends. I signed a 1-year contract. Contract ends in June, so I'm excited to kind of renegotiate, hopefully a better deal, and kind of sign and you know, look for some bigger, better things out of them. And you know, I felt like I've had a pretty solid year for myself, so I think I'm starting to kind of build some leverage, you know, because ultimately, like when you're looking for those things, a lot of these deals are like results based. Are you producing? You know what I mean? There's like,
it's a business.
Do you have influence? Yeah, and these companies want to sign athletes who are bringing a lot of like revenue, profitability, or like creating a big name for themselves. Because if they have a big name for themselves and they have a lot of influence, if they're wearing your product, that's going to be huge, because people are going to see that and they have a lot of respect for that athlete. And then obviously those athletes are going to want to wear whatever you're wearing.
Well, I mean, you're on my show, and we just did a plug for Adidas, so all 50 subscribers at this point. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to see you, dude. I love the name, for real though. The Barbell Experience.
Yeah.
Seriously. How'd you come up with that?
Barbell's been my nickname since my freshman year.
Really?
Of college, yeah, and it's stuck.
Because the first thing I think about is just like lifting weights.
Yeah, that's not it. Clearly. No, I'm just kidding. No, so my freshman year of high school or college, sorry, I was wearing a West Side Barbell shirt to like camps, and we had a 97 pounder that was a bodybuilder, and he just started calling me Barbell, and it stuck. And like I went into my second year of college, people didn't even know my name. Like my first name was Christian. They were like, "Wait, your first name's really not Barbell? I thought it was like your middle name or something." I told somebody that my name was Barbell. My actual name was Barbell because my uncle was a Olympic weightlifter, which isn't true, and they bought it. It was so.
My gosh!
So yeah, the Barbell Experience is the YouTube channel, and then I've got different segments. I've got the interviews, the conversations, which is called "It's All About Who You Know," and then I've got the Fight Life that I'm gonna do. I've got Roommate Files, which is basically my vlog, and then In Your Face Faith, which is it. The name is supposed to be ironic. I'm not throwing Bibles at people, so. But
that's awesome, man. So what made you want to do this? Is it just something you've always wanted to do?
Well,
just never got the opportunity and time to kind of kick it off, or like.
So I've been told like, hey, I think you'd be good at like stuff. Like everybody comes to me and they're like, hey, I think not everybody, but a bunch of people. A bunch of people have said I think you'd be good in the WWE, and then a few of my buddies and friends have said like, you'd have a good personality for YouTube or something like that. And I never really gave it too much thought because I didn't have the resources. And then my parents gave me a GoPro for my birthday, and I was like, all right. So like 20 days later was my first post. So.
Yeah, you got a lot of subscribers fast, man.
Yeah, I got like 52 in the first day, so we'll see. I'm hoping to break that viral mark, and I got some good ideas that I think will do it. But
nice.
But honestly, man, I just want to influence people. I just want to I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that is
they're definitely
negative, and so I want to influence people in a godly way. And
did you happen to see that Momo thing that kind of went viral not too long ago about the YouTube and the one person like inserting videos within like these little kid videos on YouTube?
What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. What is it? Maybe I heard something about it.
It was really bad, man. I saw it while I was in Bulgaria. It was trending on Twitter, and this is off topic, but they're talking about bad stuff on YouTube.
Go into it, man.
Yeah, so I saw that on YouTube. You ever heard of Peppa the Pig? It's like a little kid show that's on YouTube.
Is that no? Maybe I've got a cousin.
It's like a cartoon pig.
Yeah, I got a cousin that watches
it. Little kids, like if parents, want their kids to, stay busy, they
YouTube Kids,
make YouTube videos, put them on the iPad or the tablet.
Well, they got a YouTube Kids app, and it just plays.
Yeah. And so, pretty much, there's this little kid shows, and in the middle of the videos, somebody had been inserting clips of like this really scary looking figure with a child's voice to it. And pretty much the figure was like telling the kids to do ridiculous stuff like, yeah. And pretty much like turn on the stove when your parents are asleep, take a knife and put it into an outlet. And it was so cool. And you think like, how can an individual want to do something, not just want, but actually like go out, put the amount of time and effort it takes to take these YouTube videos, insert a couple like second clip or 30-second clip to tell these kids like how to harm themselves, not to inform their parents, just ridiculous ridiculous stuff, and it was like really, really serious, and it was trending last week on Twitter. I bet if you Googled it, Momo, it would pop up.
I'm gonna look it up. That's disgusting, man. I mean,
that's disgusting.
It's
man.
It's evil.
So, like,
it's evil. I mean, that's
I'm glad to hear you're like, want to, positively influence people, man. That's huge. There's got to be more of that,
Yeah, the Momo guy. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn yourself in, bro. Do it for the greater good. You're a sick person, but you can be helped.
No, seriously though. But when you get a chance, man, look that up. You're gonna be like, what the hell is that? That's crazy.
That's disgusting, man. Let's talk about your NCAA experience, just being at NC State, and then I want to go into some fan questions because we got a couple funny ones. So I got some people whose names I didn't recognize, so I think they're maybe your friends. But
yeah, probably.
But just man, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you had a pretty unique experience at NC State and out of high school. Your path to an NC title wasn't conventional. You look at guys like Dake, Snyder, Burroughs, like all these guys like coming out of high school. You probably think maybe not so much Burroughs, but a bunch of those guys. Taylor, like everybody else.
Even Burroughs too, though. Burroughs only won one state title.
Yeah, but I mean, in New Jersey, I mean, let's be fair, little tougher than
only one state champ, which is a big deal.
North Carolina, but you got a little bit more of an unconventional path. You want to talk about that for a second? It's pretty cool, man.
So where do you want me to start? Anywhere?
Just kind of give a snippet of your high school career, and then talk about like each year individually in college.
Got it. All right. Well, high school, was on the varsity basketball team. Skin recruit? No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, hey, disclaimer. I have seen mock. What are you, 5'8", 5'9"?
5'11". Thank you very much.
All right, 5'4". Jump up. I'm trying to help you, dude.
Did you say 5'4"?
Anyway, I have seen him jump up and grab the rim with both hands. That's no joke. That's not a lie. He might have grabbed the net and climbed up, but I only saw...
That definitely didn't happen.
I only saw the finished product of both.
Definitely 5'11". So...
Okay. All right.
Don't believe Christian's 5'4" BS. In high school, I started wrestling in 8th grade. I wrestled 18 matches my first season, and that was it. And then my first full season was my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I never wrestled year-round. I didn't do club wrestling. I didn't do off-season wrestling because I was doing football workouts in the summer, playing football for the varsity team. And football is a pretty big deal down here in the South, especially in the county that I'm from in North Carolina. And then I would transition into high school wrestling season, and I would miss like the first 3-4 weeks because we'd always go pretty deep into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then after wrestling season, before the season ended, I started doing club soccer practice because I played for a club soccer team. So I was traveling a lot, doing like state cup stuff. I actually had a couple teammates play like college soccer. And so I was doing wrestling practice, going home eating dinner, and then going to club soccer practice from 7 to 9, the last like month of the season. And then once the wrestling season ended, I was, full all into my soccer season all the way up until summer. So I was doing a different sport every season. I never did one sport year round. And so freshman year, it's all right, didn't qualify for state tournament. Sophomore year, did okay again, didn't qualify for state tournament, but I was really, really close. I lost to the kid in the round to qualify.
What round?
And then junior year, I placed third at the state tournament. First time at the state tournament, placed third in North Carolina, 4A. And I went to Flow Nationals afterwards, and I placed sixth. So I was a Flow National All-American my junior year. Then senior year, I won the state title, and then I placed third at Flow Nationals my senior year. Wasn't getting recruited by a whole lot of schools. NC State reached out to me after Flow Nationals my junior year. Frank Beasley, who's now the head coach of George Mason, was like doing a great job being persistent with me. And, I felt like, too, it was the place that kind of felt like it was most at home. So it's only 2.5 hours away from my hometown. So if I need to go home for a family emergency or wanted to see family or whatever, just 2.5 hour drive or a $30 train ticket. Pretty convenient, and you're far enough away where it's not like, I'm in the same place.
Yeah.
And so, it was a great fit. The coaching staff was brand new. They had an Olympic silver medalist, Jamil Kelly, who was there. And I heard a lot of great things about Pat Papalizio and what he did at Binghamton. And so I was really, really excited. And got there, won the starting spot by the end of the year, my freshman year. But I had a losing record and I didn't qualify for nationals. I was 11-14 my freshman year of college, so losing record. Sophomore year, I had a 50-50 record. I was 11-11, still didn't qualify for nationals because by the end of the year, I had lost the starting spot to an incoming freshman, so I didn't even get to wrestle the ACC tournament my sophomore year. And
Crazy.
Junior year, I redshirted. Coaches wanted me to, pull me up to 197 because the freshman who had beat me out for the spot, had a pretty promising year. And so, he's a good friend of mine. His name's Nicky Hall, and he's in the Marines now. So, one, I just want to thank everybody who's listening. Appreciate your service and what you do for our country, allowing us to, chase our dreams and do what we do here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And so he's in the Marines now, and he had a really promising year. He looked great. He was pinning guys that I was barely beating, and so I decided I wanted a redshirt just because I knew I was technically behind. I had the physical attributes, speed, athletic ability, and I wrestled really, really hard, but I was just behind technically. There was a lot of things a lot of positions I was just unfamiliar with and didn't really know what to do in. And so I spent that whole year just focusing on technique, really breaking things down and slowing down in practice to make sure that I knew what I was actually doing, not just trying to club the mess out of people for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And that year, man, I made a lot of jumps. I won the Penn State Open, beat Matt McCutcheon, who was ranked 12th at the time. And so I had a really, really promising year. I went 13-2 that redshirt year. And then going into my redshirt junior year, I was 27-6 or 27-8, qualified for nationals. I was the 10th seed at the NCAA tournament. I made it to the round of 12, and I lost by a point in the round of All-American. Yeah, man. So that was tough, and that was my first trip to NCAAs, and learned a lot though. And then my next year, man, I bumped up to 197, and it was a great decision for me. It's close to my natural body weight. I didn't have to run on the treadmill a lot, so cutting weight wasn't too bad. And then I went 21-3. I took one loss in January, and I took 2 losses at the very end of the year, right before NCAAs, to Jared Hott.
You lost to Hott twice, okay. Who'd you lose to?
Hott twice. Preston Weigel from Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay.
Off a riding time point.
Oh, man.
And I freaking escaped at the last second, almost got a reversal. So, it was a tough match.
So what you're saying is you like bottom. Okay, we
so
get it.
I lost to Hott in the dual meet 2-1 off my own stall call, and then I lost to him in the ACC finals in triple overtime.
Yeah.
And then come national tournament, man, I was the 4 seed. And I had beaten Colin Moore, too, right after I had lost to Hott, who was ranked number 1 at the time. And so it's a good win, and I was really excited about that. And so, I knew I was capable, man. I had a lot of confidence going into that tournament. And one thing led to another. Made it to the NCAA finals, and I ended up getting to wrestle Hott again for the 3rd time that year. And I took him down with about 10 seconds left to win the match.
And we all know how you took him down.
Look, man, I promise it was a butt drag. There was nothing else there. All I was trying to do was score.
Dude, you grabbed his balls.
I did not grab his balls. Look,
hey,
I know if you pulled a picture, which I'm sure you're going to add it to the video. I have no idea.
It's going to be right here.
Look, man, my hand was like this, straight. I'm not squeezing. I'm not... Look, man, I was just doing what I had to do to win, okay? And I'm not saying that I did it. All I'm saying is I was wrestling, and if I did do it on accident, I apologize, Jared. Not my intentions. I was just wrestling through the position.
Hey, man, there's no shame in here at the Barbell Experience for that, okay?
Thanks, man.
All right, you want to... Great story, man.
Thanks, man.
Is that...
I've been working on my storytelling skills. They need some work. I could add a little bit of more humor here and there. Get a little bit more creative. Maybe stretch a little bit, make it sound a little bit more exciting.
Did you just say stretch?
Yeah, stretch the story a little bit. Make it.
I thought you meant stretch your body.
No, come on, man.
You're about to go into a workout. Bro, no. Come on. That's.
But no, man. I'm trying to work on my storytelling skills, so I appreciate hearing that.
Hey, no, man. It was good. You need to work on the mic or the camera not being
Sorry.
No,
Not all of us have like fancy laptops for our FaceTime.
Hey man, I was working for like 2 hours figuring out how I was gonna do this. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna facilitate a FaceTime call.
Oh my gosh! And then you texted me last night, "Hey man, can you download Skype just in case I can't figure it out?"
Just in case. That was a fear. That was a fear I had. All right, let's get into some fan questions because.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, what do you think about the Pacific Northwest or FCAW Pacific Northwest? And are you up to do a camp for the Pacific Northwest?
I think the Pacific Northwest is amazing. I got to do a camp out in Seattle, and I got to obviously spend a whole day with you and with Kale out in Portland, which was a lot of fun, man. So anytime I'm out there, obviously I'd love to do that again. But I would absolutely be down to do a camp out in the Pacific Forgot to speak English. Pacific Northwest, man. The scenery out there is amazing. I love nature too. I just love being outdoors. The views are gorgeous, and I think there's a good amount of people out there that I know that are just some really, really great people that I love spending time with. So it's a win-win all around for me anytime I'm in the Pacific Northwest. So
awesome, man. If you played another sport still, what would it be and why?
Either football or soccer.
Did you play soccer? Did you play soccer in high school?
Yeah, I did. Club soccer.
Okay.
So I played travel soccer. I grew up playing football and soccer, and so I played football, soccer, wrestling all throughout high school. And so I played safety in high school, and then I was like a striker. I played forward. I was up top for soccer. So either one of those two sports, but man, I love both of them for real. One example, soccer. I just have a lot of fun doing it, man. It's just a really, really fun sport for me. And I grew up playing it. It was the first sport I started playing at 4 years old. And then football, man, I just love the atmosphere, the team aspect of things. There's so many fans. There's so many people who love the sport. And so, that's just a fun environment to compete in for me.
Very cool. All right, we got a faith question here.
All right.
How has Christ changed you and how you wrestle?
Man, first thing that comes to mind when I hear that is freedom. Freedom, 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 man. I compete freely, man, and that wasn't the case for me the first couple of years. I think a lot of the reason why I had a tough time competing my freshman and sophomore years because I put so much pressure on myself. I was trying to compete for others, trying to compete for the wrong reasons, like attention, social media. I wanted to, have a strong influence and platform, and so I wanted to be successful for that. And also, I felt like, coming from a small hometown, like any other college athlete, people are like, oh, you're going to do amazing. I felt like I had to live up to expectations. And then on top of that, live up to coaches' expectations and wrestling to please my coaches. And I went to this one camp called Ultimate Training Camp. And if you haven't heard of it, look it up.
UTC, baby.
It's seriously, UTC fan.
It really,
it's life-changing.
I want to stop you because that was the best week of my life for sure.
Yeah, such a fun camp.
No trip to Mexico, no trip out of the country.
People. Right now, Long Beach is a cool place to be.
Long Beach State, man. That's
freedom, man. I learned to compete for Christ, man, not just for myself. I think when I learned how to do that, I had to shift my priorities, right? Sport was number one in my life. I definitely idolized a little bit. And when I put God first, I understood, okay, regardless of the outcome, right? I'm still loved. I'm still worthy. And, I personally believe God cares more about our effort and us taking full advantage of the blessings and the gifts that He's given us. And sometimes when we give everything we have to take advantage of those gifts and blessings, the outcome doesn't always go our way. Sometimes we might lose. But I think God is more pleased in those losses when we give everything we have than when we sell ourselves short and still come out with a win.
Playing it safe, yeah, for sure, man.
You know what I mean? Because you're not giving everything you had. And for me and for God's eyes, I think, He gave you those gifts and those abilities for a reason.
Yeah.
Not to go out there and just use half of them, right? Because for me, going out there and competing, it's an opportunity, to give everything I have and showcase the gifts that God's given me. And it's a way that, you do that, I think that's a way of glorifying him. And for me, when I go out there and compete, I don't think about the outcome, man. I let the outcome take care of itself. I think about giving everything I have for 7 minutes. And usually when I do that, man, things typically go my way. And so there's a lot of freedom in that, man. I don't feel like I compete with a whole lot of pressure. And it's a really good feeling, man. Definitely. It's a really good feeling.
Definitely. So, all right, let's do a few more here. Okay, we got 2 from the same person. I think you might know this person, Jay Oliver Ix. Does that sound familiar?
So, my roommate, yep.
He says, why is his head so big? And he also says, how do you feel about the nickname Hollywood?
My head is large because I don't know. It's kind of got like a square shape to it. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I don't. Hey,
I have a large noggin.
These are the questions that came in. I didn't pick them.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know what to tell you about that. There's nothing I can do to change that. And then Hollywood, his girlfriend calls me that because she thinks it's hilarious. And so
it's because you're so handsome, man. I mean, that's really the root of it.
Yeah, or it's a troll. I'm not really sure yet. I guess it's a compliment. I really don't know how I feel about it, so I guess indifferent. Yeah.
All right, 2 more here.
Not a bad nickname. Yeah.
We got an Andrew Machiavello. Any relation there?
The little bro. The little brother. All right.
He asked if you're a good driver. Is there a backstory to that one?
Oh, man.
Did you get in a car crash recently?
No, not recently, but I'm not the best driver, man. I flipped my car a couple years ago because
I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry. You could have been hurt.
No, it's fine, man. Thankfully, nothing happened. I was like unscathed, which was crazy. So shout out to them upstairs. But,
for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm not the best driver, so.
All right. Last one.
All right.
Moe's or Chipotle? I forgot about Moe's. We have those back in Missouri. Shout out to Branson.
I went to this like Village Deli and Grill that's like not too far from me. There's a Moe's right next to it. I almost went in there the other day, but I gotta go Chipotle, man.
Yeah.
Moe's has good queso and chips though.
Do they?
Yeah.
I haven't been there in a while.
I like their queso better than Chipotle's queso.
We have Qdoba and Chipotle. I'm a Qdoba guy.
Qdoba's good.
Qdoba beat Chipotle to the punch with queso. First of all, why you would open a Mexican restaurant without queso is beyond me. But Chipotle had queso, was without queso for years. And I was like, it's Qdoba all the way, baby.
This is a red flag.
I'm going to go across the street. You guys have fun over here. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Man, anything else? Any last words? I'm thinking about going with any last words for my sign off there.
Any last words? That's
like,
good.
It's intense. It's like, oh gosh, like this guy's walking off the plank, you know?
Yeah. That's good.
We'll probably get some horrible feedback.
Makes me feel like you're standing over top of me and I'm in that.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't hate me for it.
No, I don't, man. I don't blame you. There's.
I feel like I get a lot of judgment when I tell people that.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, there it is.
No. I was.
Now you see me differently.
No, I don't, man. Because I was having some moral conflicts with it. I was like, should I be watching? Like, it's a bad show, dude. Like, it is. Yeah. It's like, I mean, nudity.
It's good, though. It's good.
Language. It is. It's like I would put it up there with like a Sopranos or The Godfather of.
Oh, nice.
Like
fantasy. Their episodes are like an hour, 2 hours long, though, aren't they?
An hour, and then about an hour and 20, an hour and a half for each season ending. Yeah.
So they're like mini movies.
Yeah, I watched it in a month.
Jeez.
I slacked on some studying and some reading, but I got all cut up like 5 days ago, so it's good, man. But yeah, the trailer looks really good.
Yeah. But no, any last words, man?
Any encouragement for people that may be watching?
Yeah. This is gonna be kind of corny, but you gotta believe in yourself before anybody else does. It's the biggest thing I've learned in the past 5 years. You gotta believe in yourself before anybody else does. And then things start to, happen, and people sooner or later start to hop on the bandwagon. Even if they're not there at the beginning, man, keep dreaming, keep believing, stay with it, and don't sell yourself short. So,
gotcha. All right, man. Well, hey, let me get to one more fan question. Barbell Robertson asks, are you seeing anybody?
I am not.
Why would I ask that? That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not currently seeing anybody right now, man.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but, I am just trying to grow as much as I can right now in my faith, because obviously who wouldn't want to be in a relationship, right? I mean, it's tough, but it's nice to have a girlfriend, you know what I mean? And so I think I'm just trying to grow right now as much as I can in my faith, because I know, I want to be fully equipped to just kind of lead somebody in a godly relationship when the time comes, and I want to be really intentional about that whenever it happens. So right now I'm just kind of in this phase where I'm letting, all my free time be time that I spend in the Word, whether it's like time reflecting on my own thoughts, trying to learn about myself and tendencies that I have, or certain things that I got to work on, and just stuff like that. So,
all right,
and then, when it happens, it happens. So
absolutely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you getting on here. I appreciate everything. It was good catching up with you, man.
Yeah, man. It was, man. I appreciate you bringing me on our band experience. I'm excited, man. I feel like this thing's gonna be big soon. So
we'll see. Somebody messaged me today about some connects that you might know. So we'll see what happens. So
that's sweet, man.
But hey, man, I appreciate you. Love you, brother. Have a good one.
Hey, love you too, man. And we'll talk soon.
Get out here. We'll start the fight team in Oregon.
Hey, let's do it.
See you, man.
See ya.
Oh.